Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi Masechet Pesachim. We are up to Perek Bet Mishnah Vav. Today's Mishnayot should be Leilun Nishmat, Neria ben Svetlana, Aranbayev, and Eliyahu ben Burchai Israelov, Menuchatam Began Eden, Amen. In yesterday's Mishnah, we listed the grains that may be used for the mitzvah of eating matzah on the first night of Pesach. Today's Mishnah lists the vegetables that may be used for the mitzvah of eating maror, the bitter herb, on that night. The mitzvah of eating maror is also midoraita of biblical origin, as the Torah says in Sefer Bamidbar, chapter 9, pasuk 11. However, the biblical obligation is to eat maror together with the Pesach offering. Nowadays, therefore, when the Pesach offering is not brought, the obligation to eat maror is only midrabanan, only rabbinic, as the Rambam writes in Ilchot Chametz U'Matzah, chapter 7, halakha 12. The Mishnah begins, Ve'elu yirakot she'adam yotze b'hen yidei chovato b'Pesach. These are the vegetables with which a person can fulfill his obligation to eat maror on Pesach. B'chazeret, with lettuce. Now, although lettuce generally does not have a bitter taste, it is considered maror, a bitter herb, because when it's left in the ground for too long, the leaves become tough and bitter. As the commentaries explain, uba ulshin, endives, uva tamcha, and tamcha. It is widely accepted, the Tosfot Yom Tov writes that tamcha is horseradish, uva chavina, which the Rav explains is a certain type of thorny plant, uva maror, and maror, which the Rav explains, besides being the general term for any herb with which the mitzvah can be fulfilled, the word maror refers to a specific vegetable, namely a type of coriander that is very bitter. Yotzin bahen, ben lachin, ben yeveshin. We can fulfill our obligation with them whether they are moist or dried out. Now only the stalks are acceptable when dry. The leaves must be fresh and moist. Aval, the Mishnah says, lo chivushin, velo shelukin, velo mevushalin, but not if they are pickled in vinegar or stewed, which means cooked so long that they are reduced to a mush, or even cooked normally. Now, pickling, stewing, or even cooking these plants disqualifies them because it takes away their bitter taste, as the Gemara explains on page 39b in Masechet Pesachim. Umitztarfin lechazayit, and they combine to make up the size of an olive, a kazayit, which is the minimum one must eat to fulfill the obligation. So, for example, one who ate half a kazayit of lettuce with half a kazayit of endives has fulfilled the obligation of maror. Now, the Rav explains this part of the Mishnah refers not only to the 5 herbs that are fit for maror, but also to the 5 grains listed in the previous Mishnah that are fit for matzah. In the case of matzah too, the minimum is 1 kazayit. Therefore, for instance, one who ate half a kazayit of matzah made from wheat and half a kazayit of matzah made from barley has fulfilled the obligation of matzah. V'yotzin bakelach shelahen, we can fulfill the obligation with their stalks, which refers to the Mishnah's previous ruling that the listed vegetables are fit even when dry. Here the Mishnah teaches that this ruling applies only to their stalks. The leaves, however, must be moist. Uba demai, the Mishnah says we can fulfill the obligation with vegetables of demai. Now, although only maror that is permitted for consumption may be used to fulfill the obligation, as in the case with matzah, demai is permitted for the reason we gave in Mishnah 5. Uvmaaser rishon shelitla turumato, we can fulfill the obligation with maaser rishon whose teruma has been separated. Uvmaaser sheni ve'egdesh shenivdu, and with maaser sheni and consecrated produce that were redeemed. Again, we explained this last 2 lines of the Mishnah, same concept earlier on in Mishnah 5. That is in Rabotai Mishnah Vav. Mishnah Zayin now lists some activities that are forbidden on Pesach because they lead to the creation of chametz. And shorin et hamursan tarnegolim. We may not soak bran, which is the outer layer of the grain kernel, in warm or cold water on Pesach for chickens to eat because it might become chametz. Aval choltin, but we may scald bran in hot water because the hot water prevents the formation of chametz. The Mishnah Berurah in chapter 454, Sivkat 11 writes that the hot water cooks the grain, and once grain is cooked, it can never become chametz. Nowadays, the Rav says we do not permit the scalding of grain on Pesach for fear that one will use water that was not heated sufficiently. The Mishnah continues, "Ha'isha lo tishret hamursan shetolich biyadah lemerchatz." A woman may not soak bran in water to take with her to the baths to rub on her skin to clean herself because it might become chametz. Aval shafahi bifsarah yavesh, but she may rub dry bran on her skin. Now this is permitted, the commentators explain, even if she is dripping with perspiration from the heat of the bathhouse, because perspiration, sweat, does not cause grain to become chametz. And the Mishnah concludes, Lo yil'os adam chitin v'eniach al makato b'Pesach. A person may not chew wheat kernels and place them on his wound to heal it on Pesach, mipnei shen machamitzot, because they might become chametz from his saliva. And that is in Rabotai of today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen v'amen.